Hello and welcome back to Brick System Brothers. Today I'm going to be using the BrickLink inventory and the single image available to try to reverse engineer a LEGOLAND California set known as LLCA51, the LEGOLAND California 10th birthday ambassador something cupcake. So yeah, I like a fun little challenge when I can round something up to work on. And the challenge today is going to be using the verified inventory in this picture, build the cupcake. There's no instructions. I did hunt around a little bit for instructions, but there's nothing with a quick Google search. So there's probably some scans buried in Eurobricks or somewhere like that. I was able to find a similar build instructions that way, but the cupcake I think is actually, there's enough visible here and there's few enough parts to be able to reverse engineer the way that this goes together. And another thing about this is just having the parts to do it on hand is a big reason I'm doing that today on the channel. So this is just going to be the process of putting it together, and then we'll take a short look at the build itself, but that's what we got. So my approach here is going to be build what is obviously correct first and use those pieces up so that they're not actually available to be used incorrectly. And the most obvious thing that pops out to me is the candle. And I mean, it's not like I'm going to be using these blue 1x1s in the wrong spot because that's the only place they're used. But I figure if I can put pieces together that are for sure correct, I'm going to do it. Looking a little bit closer, just at the top of the cupcake, you can start to see where those contours are lining up. I'm going to just put it in loose over here. Probably a little bit blurry, but I'm going to have the candle on the 2x4 plate, and then I'm going to just slide the 1x2 plates up next to it for now. Not sticking anything down, but I can see the contours on the image, kind of showing that's what's going on top of the cupcake. After that, I'm going to focus on the bottom. I can clearly see how the yellow slopes are going together. We've got the convex ones at the corner, pretty straightforward. And then all 8 of the regular slopes are 2 to a side, and then there's a 1 stud offset, the way that those line up with the corner slopes. So if I just kind of float this together really quick, in fact I'm going to build it on the base plate just for stability, and I can pop it off later when I like the way that things are lining up. And the other thing that's nice about having the dedicated inventory is the only way to achieve this shape with the parts that are given is I know I have to build it upside down. So that is removing the ambiguity of, do I need inverted slopes to do this? Do I need plate reversing techniques to do this? No, because the pieces that are here from the verified inventory tell me the only way that's going to work to build the cupcake is actually the top is a right side up, the bottom is somehow inverted. I'm not sure how that's going to connect yet, but I can see what needs to be built just looking at it that way. So after that, I've got this top surface here, and I'm pretty sure that this is where our tiles are going to end up. Just looking at the picture again, there really isn't any other place for them to go. But I can also see that before the tiles go on, there does need to be a layer of plates on here. So a layer of plates across the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and use my 2x8s. I am not 100% sure that those don't go in between the yellow and the white yet, but at this point I'm going to put them in. If it's wrong, I can take it back out later. Basically, I want to completely cover the surface that we have with plates, and that will give me something to tile. Okay, now I have something to tile. I can go ahead and lay all these tiles on. Staggering the joints or placing things perpendicular is going to give us some extra strength in the model. So it's somewhat ambiguous that this is the correct way to do it, but it's probably better than having everything parallel and having sections disjointed. So now I have a layer of plates and a layer of tiles. Things are going crisscross on here, so there's no detached sections. If I had put the 1x8 plates going this way, this half cupcake would actually be able to separate, and sections would be coming apart. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this off in one piece, but once it is off, it should hold itself together. Yeah, it's really stuck down. Maybe I should not have put this on the base plate. Hopefully we've got some more plates here, yellow plates, and we can reinforce the top surface, because it definitely needs something in addition to what is currently holding it together. Alright, so here's our top surface. I'm going to go ahead and try to use up the rest of the yellow plates right now. There's only one spot left these can go, and that is in the top surface. Once again, looking at which direction plates are running here, I want to be doing these perpendicular for extra strength. So I'm just going to lay this one across this direction, mirror that over here, and looking at it a little bit more, in order to actually use our 1x6 plates, I need to open up a little bit more room. So I'm going to move both of these out by one stud to the outside of the cupcake. Now I actually have a place to put 1x6 plates. Building blind at this point. None of this is really visible in the picture, but there are only a certain number of pieces that I have to use, and this looks like well, it's a solution. So far it looks like the correct solution. So the base is assembled, possibly incorrectly, but we do have something that matches the picture from what we are able to see in the picture. Okay, there was a slight intermission here, but I realized I had not grabbed my 2x10 white plates, and these are part of the official inventory, so I had to go grab those. I had started working on the top, and then I realized I was short some plates. But yeah, we've got those now, and it's going to be the same process, working off of what is visible and going from there to fill the interior based on what parts are on hand. So again, what's visible, we've got our arrangement with the outside convex slope, and then two of these. I'm not going to stick them down this time. I am going to try to lay the plate foundation first and then build on top of that. There's actually 2 layers of plates, and based on the profile of the completed cupcake, I should be able to line things up and build this base of plates first rather than start with the slopes. But I know what the slopes are actually going to match the contour of this circle here. So we'll just build ourselves a approximate circular shape from plates, and just using the 2x8s and 2x10s pretty much there. Fill in some of the gaps with the 1x4s. Again, just seeing where pieces can go. Pieces that are in the inventory can go. Which gaps need to be filled, that kind of thing. And then we'll start laying some bricks on top. Everything here referencing back to this image. It's actually a pretty helpful image. The angle that it's been taken at shows a lot of the crucial structure layout that is necessary to do this process. The other thing that's helping is this is a pretty lightweight interior hollow model, so there's not a lot of guesswork in terms of what's going on inside a structure. The only thing I'm going to have to do completely blind that doesn't rely on symmetry, because again, I can't see the pieces behind the cupcake in the picture, but the pieces are present to assume that it's built symmetrically. So by symmetry, I can actually see everything I need to about the base. I can't see that in the top, but we have a pretty limited selection of these filler bricks to actually use. Again, looking at putting things perpendicular, I'm going to be stacking bricks against the plates, and that fills up pretty quick because the bricks that are provided are filling that very quickly. Alright, once again, we turn to the picture to see what we want to do with the top. I do have the candle already built, so I know that's going on the very top, but I still have two 2x6 plates. These are pretty sizable, and it looks like we need to put these across in the middle somewhere. So I'm going to go back to my initial plate direction. I'm going to fill in the sides. Based on the picture, I can see that the convex slopes are down by that plate thickness, and I also want to approximate this circular shape on top. And now I can actually place the candle and a few more plates here to build up this top surface. And that leaves a couple of 1x plates. The only thing at this point would be building a little bit of a interior rim so that this can kind of nestle inside the inner surface of our cup side. So that's just a matter of taking a look at, you know, what's going on in here. Well, we've got kind of this 6x6 area that's somewhat recessed. That would be an acceptable place to line these plates up. So that's what I'm going to do. Make a 6x6 frame out of these plates. It would also work to just slap a 6x6 plate on the bottom. Something this size here. But building that after you have everything else on here would take a lot of pressure to get everything seated. It'd be better from a perspective of building if you started with that 6x6 plate and built on top of that. Again, if there were instructions, we would know the build order. So that sits on there pretty nice. That seems like an acceptable build solution. The last thing here is a little bit of sprinkles, apparently, with these 1x1 rounds. Again, our photo, pretty helpful reference. It shows all but one of these little decorations, actually. So I'm building these from my perspective, and then if I rotate it this way, it should line up with that reference image. And actually, I should be able to place all of the studs, even the one that I can't see, because the only place that it would fit, that it would be obscured, is behind the candle, way over here on this one. So that's going to be the hidden one, I think, and the rest of these are just visible enough to get placed on. And I mean, it sprinkles, so it's not absolutely crucial. It's just in the spirit of matching the reference that Bricklink has on hand. I think that's going to be pretty close. If I turn it like that, so it's more lined up to you guys there. Something like that right there. Everything visible except for that little blue one in the back. So that's how to reverse engineer a Lego set. If it's simple enough and you have a pretty good reference picture and a verified inventory. So those are kind of the two crucial things. Also just a general strategy, general approach strategy of, you know, am I going to be stacking things perpendicularly when I get to that point, or just a matter of which parts are available to use and build. So the model itself, let's take a look at our cupcake here. It's a sizable model. This is 10 studs across at the widest, and
It's slightly taller than that with the candle on here. You can pick it up by the candle. No, you cannot. You can't pick it up by the candle, apparently. But you get this nice interior cup here. This has plenty of room for minifigs if you want to stick something in there. It's almost 6x6 interior volume, but there's these little corners from the convex slopes. You can place the lid on in any position because it's symmetric, about a square. And tiled bottom surface. You can't really stick this down because, again, this was built upside down. So there's not a inverted convex slope that accomplishes that I'm aware of. That is the LEGOLAND California 10th Anniversary Ambassador Pass exclusive LLCA51 Cupcake. It's referenced in Bricklink catalog, Rebrickable catalog. Not sure if Brickset has this in the catalog, but yeah, it's one of those obscure things. It's not really a Lego set because it wasn't available to the general public in the same way that production sets are, but it's still a Lego set in the sense of a model that was produced by the Lego group for building that uses standard pieces. There isn't anything exclusive in here at all. The hardest thing for me to get to build this were these yellow convex slopes. So that one, kind of an older part, but still somewhat abundant compared to other exclusive models that maybe had a print or something like that. But yeah, I'm going to call that a successful reverse engineer project, and follow along to build that yourself if you want. I can probably put this together in Studio and make some nicer PDF instructions, and when I have that complete, I will put a link to those in the description if you'd rather, you know, build from PDF. But you can also follow this video. Everything should be pretty clear there. We'll look back through. So thanks for watching today, guys. Had a little bit of fun with the LEGOLAND models. Going back a couple years, but still holds up. It's pretty sturdy. Once you get past the inverse building in this, it goes together pretty smooth. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time on Brick System Brothers.